Hey, yo, hey. You may have noticed in last week's video how I mentioned, hey, I'm gonna add another video with what I'm watching. So a little bit of a change. I'm thinking about maybe doing it every 2 weeks. So if you do enjoy this content, please tell me down below by either liking the video or commenting so I know. And I'll keep making them. I figured I'd give it a little trial run to see how it goes. So definitely let me know down below. Alright, so updates on what I've been watching. Didn't really get to watch a lot this week, mainly due to the account that we just got back from our family reunion that weekend before. And then we went to our first concert in the pandemic since January 2020. That's the last time I've been to a concert. Granted, we saw In Vogue at Busch Gardens, but you know, that's not the same. That's a theme park. This is an actual concert where you buy the ticket for the one band and you have to go to the venue. You're surrounded by people, which is scary. Well, wait, doesn't that count? I mean, we technically watched the band, so yeah, I'm counting it. We watched Kings of Leon rock off our faces in the pit. So that's general admission standing, closest you could get to the stage, which we were probably like third or fourth rows of people back, so it was amazing. Oh my god, the video experience is just undescribable. Like I mean, you can see how I'm kind of stammering through this. I don't know how to put it into words. Anyone that talks to me about the shows knows that the main way that I describe the visuals that they provide is like seeing Jesus's eyes. I mean, think Hugh Jackman in, I forgot what movie that was, but he's just like you just don't know where to look. And this is a band that pretty much, they don't move around a lot, so I really love that they know that about themselves, so that they provide all these amazing visuals while they're performing amazing songs. So even if you like one song of Kings of Leon, I really highly recommend seeing them at least once live. It will change your concert going experience live, because oh my god, so good. But for me, it's like I will go see them as many times as I can. But back to actually watching television shows and movies. So I was able to watch an episode of Shark Week this past week, and with this program, it's usually the program I don't enjoy watching. It's a reoccurring program and I usually skip it every year, but this year I forgot to not DVR it, so if it's DVR'd, I'm just gonna watch it. And that's the Air Jaws series. I don't know what it is about Chris Fios. It's just, ever since the series premiered on Shark Week, whenever that was, feels like a million years ago, he just always rubbed me the wrong way, and because of that I would just skip his programs altogether every year. So with this year's Air Jaws series, it was called Air Jaws Going for Gold, which, yes, it's a spoof on the Olympics, because why wouldn't they? In this show, what they did is they measured the speed and height of a breach attack on a decoy that they had pulling behind their boat on a handful of different great white sharks that they've been photographing for the past few years in South Africa. Not gonna lie, the angle of the camera that caught all the breaches was really cool, and you could tell like the quality of the camera was top tier. I mean, chef's kiss. The show was like a sports analyst, and it just sounded like I had CNN playing in the background, so I was definitely like playing games and stuff on my iPad and looking up every time they would show a breach. Other than that, it was actually really boring, so at least I watched a Shark Week this week. Next up, with the last of the television that I watched this week, because it wasn't a lot, I watched an episode of Riverdale. It was season 5, episode 5, so yeah, I am still behind. But I watched an episode on Cole Sprouse's birthday, which he plays Jughead in the series, and actually the only reason why I started watching this show back when it premiered 5 or 6 years back. Sadly, I've been losing interest with this show for about a season and a half, and definitely this season more so than the other, because they've done like a 6 to 7 year time skip in the series, and it's just but then again, it's one of those high school shows, like what are you supposed to do after they graduate? So it's like they gave us half a year of them outside of school and they just jumped 7 years in the future, and it's just making me not really care about what's going on. But I'm not a quitter, so I will be there until the end. New episodes of season 5 starts August 11th, so hopefully I'll be caught up by then. If not, I will just remain not caught up. Alright, so that's it for TV. Let's move on to the few movies that I watched this week. The Last Letter from Your Lover, which stars Felicity Jones and Shailene Woodley. I think I said her name wrong. Or wait, no, I think I said it right. I usually say her name wrong, which is why me and my friends usually call her Grandma Face. Nothing against her, I think she's gorgeous, to be honest. It's just sometimes when she like is crying, you know, when your face swells up, it's like her mouth gets really close to her nose and it just looks like a cute little grandma face. So nothing against her. She's a phenomenal actress. That's how we would address her sometimes when we were having trouble saying her actually first name. Sorry. Back to the movie though. The best way to describe this movie is it's Titanic meets The Notebook. And if you watch this movie, you'll understand what I mean. But to give you a more official description, IMDb describes this movie as a pair of interwoven stories set in the past and present, follow an ambitious journalist determined to solve the mystery of a forbidden love affair at the center of a trove of secret letters from 1965. Glad I went with that because that was definitely better than what I typed up. The look and the flow and the feel of this movie I connected really well with. Like, it just gave me this warm, fuzzy, lovey-dovey type of feeling of a movie. The ending I thought was good, but it kind of felt flat, which made me a little bit sad. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie, and once the credits roll, I understood why. Because apparently this movie is based off of a book by Jojo Moyes, who also wrote the book Me Before You, which is also a movie I adore. I love the book too, but oh my god, I love the movie because it has my boy Finnick, which is Sam Claflin, and Mother of Dragons herself, Emilia Clarke. It's just really cute. If you haven't seen that movie, you should definitely see that movie. But going back to Last Letters from Your Lover, it has that also that same type of feel. The only thing is that you're following two different women through two different time eras. So in conclusion, if you did like Me Before You, you will probably like this one. It's in a sense not as good as that movie, but it has the same feel. So if you like that, you'll love this as well. It's on Netflix, so definitely check it out if you want to get that warm and fuzzy lovey-dovey feeling, because it'll leave you with that. And then I randomly started watching the Clovehitch Killer like immediately after this movie. I don't know why. Maybe I just needed to tip the scale back into the darkness. I don't know. And not to waste any time, I'll just go ahead and read the IMDb description for this movie. A picture-perfect family is shattered when the work of a serial killer hits too close to home. Short and sweet, I guess. You may or may not know this by now because I can't remember if I've talked about it a lot, but I'm a really big fan of true crime, which is why this movie even made it to my watch list years ago and I just never got around to watching it. Plus, I mean, it had Dylan McDermott in it, so I love him, so obviously I'm going to watch it. When I did start watching this movie, I was like, oh, this is the BTK killer. Okay. Except, of course, for this movie's sake, it's called Clovehitch Killer instead of BTK Killer. If you're unfamiliar with the serial killer that is known as BTK Killer, BTK, or BTK Strangler, he was called that because he would bound, torture, and kill his victims. So right off the bat, this movie almost completely mirrors the details of that whole case for BTK. The only difference between this movie and the real BTK is the ending, and this story follows the son instead of the daughter. If you're curious to know more about the BTK killer, there's plenty of freaking documentaries on him, so definitely check that out. If not, you could definitely watch this movie because, like I said, it pretty much mirrors BTK whole case in the long run, like I said on my Letterboxd review, which you could follow me there if you want to. The acting was good, but since it was a quiet film, the movie dragged a little bit, which is where I lost interest. But it also might have been the fact that it mirrored the BTK killer too much to the point that I was kind of already knowing what was gonna happen. I don't know. It just, the flow was too slow for me, but again, the acting was really good from everyone in it, really. And I guess I could say, like, I didn't hate it, but I also don't think I liked it either, so it's kind of in the meh. But if you're interested, definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. Oh hey, different room. Currently in Orlando, Friday the 13th. Just want to pop in here real quick and say that I have also started The Outer Banks, which I've only watched one season. I've only watched one episode, and not gonna lie, I was falling asleep in it. So I'm hoping, since it's kind of a big deal for some reason, that it picks up in the rest of the season. The main reason why I wanted to watch it is because it's got my boy Deacon Claiborne in it, who is played, that's his character's name on Nashville, played by Charles Esten, I believe. I love that dude, especially when he played Deacon, because I love Nashville. I need to rewatch that. So far, not impressed with Outer Banks, but definitely going to give it another try for Deacon. Saw The Suicide Squad. Some of our friends invited us out to go, so we went ahead and saw it. I liked it. It was very entertaining. It was completely fast-paced, like right off the bat. I love that they didn't really mention anything from the first movie, so that's cool. They're just kind of like trying to forget about it, or that's how it came off to me. It's really bloody. I was very surprised at how bloody it was, but then again, I should have known that because of the trailer. I think the main thing that I took away from it is Idris Elba is a badass. Like, this is the badass that I always knew he would be. I love King Shark. There should have been more King Shark, even though there was a lot, but I love him, and I want a spin-off between him and I forgot what the other chick's name. What was the other chick? Ratcatcher. So I think her name was Ratcatcher, but I want a spin-off of King Shark and Ratcatcher together because they just meshed very well, and I love him. Like, I need a King Shark something. This is not a standalone, like he needs someone with him, which is why I think Ratcatcher should be with him, but definitely go see it in theaters. See it big. It needs to be seen big. You'll enjoy it. It was very entertaining. It was weird because it was fast paced, but it still felt like 2 hours. It's definitely the comic book movie that DC needed because it's very action packed, very like comedy with like the side jokes and the making fun of each other. But definitely go see it big. If you're planning on seeing it, go see it. It's really good. You'll have a grand old time. I want to hear from you. What have you been watching? What are you planning on watching? Is there anything you think I should be watching? Let me know. Comment down below. If you had fun today, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss on any upcoming videos. And until next time, be safe, be well, be silly. And as always, please tell your mother I said hello. Bye, y'all.